click on the timeline icon. Timeline is an advanced time series chart. It allows you to do more types of time series analysis than if you were just using the time series or the line chart on Visualize. Let me show you what I mean. So first, the more difficult part of timeline is that you have to do it all programmatically. You have to type out exactly what you're looking for. So we're going to collapse this down. Just go through all the tooltips just to clear this away. Don't show this again. Okay. So as you see here, this whole query is powering this visualization. So what this is .es means that you are querying an Elasticsearch database. There are other types of databases that you can query from Timeline, but those have to be configured. But you're going to be set up to Elasticsearch the majority of the time. So we're going to start with that. So to create your first query, beyond just inputting star, you need to put in an index that you're looking for. So there will be 3 parameters that we're going to input. First, star is going to be what query you're looking for. Then you're going to do a comma, and you will type in your index equals, and then it has a drop down so you can type in or click on Kibana sample data flights. Then you're going to do comma, and last part is you need an interval. Oh, sorry, not interval. You're going to need to use time field equals and then timestamp. So whatever the time field is within your data set. So you have 3 parameters again. Star just means you're searching for everything within Kibana sample data flights, and the time field that you're going to use is your timestamp. So you can click the play button. You're going to see that we have nothing here. And the reason, again, is one of the gotchas that I explained in the beginning, right here, the last 15 minutes. As you remember, the Kibana sample data flights isn't in the last 15 minutes, so we need to go back and change it to, I'm going to click on recent because we have that time period saved, and I believe it was the June 1st. It was. So I'm going to shrink this date range a little bit. Absolute, we're going to bring this back from August to just June 1st. So, excuse me, June 1st to July 1st. So we have our sample data set here. So what is this telling us with this first view? Well, we are searching for just a raw count of everything within this time range. So if we wanted to change this, if we were just looking for a count of all of the flights that were happening, this would be a perfect visualization. And you could change this auto. So this is your interval. Right now it's set to auto. What you can do is you can change it to daily. And so then it smooths it out a little bit more. So each of these data points is now calculated per day instead of per hour or per minute. Or sometimes it groups it into per 3 hours. Or you could do 1 week and smooth it out even more. We're going to keep it on auto until we know exactly what we want. So again, this tells you exactly how many flights happened within this time interval that you have set. So let's be a little bit more specific. I can delete this star and I'm going to put 2 single quotes in there. Inside of those 2 single quotes, I'm going to start typing out a query, just like if I were to type it in the query bar. So I'm going to type in carrier colon, and then we'll do quotes, Kibana Airways. Here I can click star. Maybe I typed this in wrong. Kibana Airlines. There we go. So now I've isolated to just Kibana Airlines within the carrier. So I can change this query to look like exactly what I want. I could also come in here, do carrier of Kibana Airlines, then do or log star, because if I can't remember exactly what it is for log stash, I think it's log stash airways. So now I filtered down. So all of the same rules apply when you are in the Discover tab or within the Visualize tab and you're typing in a query in the query bar right up here in the top. So exact same thing. That is this first parameter here. So let's go on, let me show you how to do some more advanced things, because all of this is stuff that we can do with our existing Visualize tool. So what you can do is, right now I've just isolated to the count of Kibana Airlines. What if I wanted to do a percent of Kibana Airlines, a percent of flights that were Kibana Airlines? So let me come back and remove this. So I'm filtered down to just Kibana Airlines. Click play. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is, after this, I'm going to type in dot and then divide. Within this divide, I'm going to be putting my denominator calculation. So from here, usually what I do is I copy this entire first query that I have. So let's copy that. And then inside of the divide, I'm going to paste this in. And what I'm going to do is, because this is going to be my denominator, I'm going to remove this so that it's just all of the flights. And I'm going to input a star in there. So my numerator is Kibana Airlines within the Kibana sample data flights index with the time field of timestamp, divided by all of the flights within the Kibana sample data flights index with the time field of timestamp. Click play. And now you can see I have a percentage. Let's change this from auto to 1 day just to smooth it out a little bit here. So now if we want to change this so it looks like a percent, we're going to do another dot, and then we're going to do y-axis, and then within the y-axis there's some parameters, and you can see what some of them are. We want units here, so units equals, and then lots of other units that you can use, and then I like percent. Click play there, and you can see it's changed to percent. To clean this up a little bit more, you may want to change this so that it doesn't, so that the legend is different. So the way you do that is you do dot label. Within label you can say percent of flights that were Kibana dot dot dot. So now you can see it's changed that so that it's a little bit more cleaned up. Maybe you don't like this color that's defaulted here, so you can change that as well. You can do dot color, and within there you can do quotes, and you could say you want it to be red. Well, that's nice. You can also change it and do a hexadecimal color. So do 33FF11, and I have no idea what color that's gonna give me, but maybe you like this neon color. We're gonna change this back to blue, or to blue. So this is the percentage of flights that were Kibana. Now, let's say that you wanted to compare this to just percentage of flights that were Logstash Air, and you wanted to compare those two together. Well, what you can do is, after this entire query, you can do a comma. Let's expand this. And I'm going to copy this entire query here. From here, I'm going to change this one to red. And then within carrier, I do log stash or log star. My query is the exact same as I had above, only I just replaced log stash airways in here. And I'm going to click play. So now you can see a comparison. So this would be an easy way to add another dimension to this. Now we're going to need to change the label here. Log stash airways, so that you can distinguish between the two. But it's really nice just to be able to quickly add another dimension. So then we can come in here and we can say I want to do a third one. Exact same thing, as long as I have a comma after the end of my query, I can add another one in here, and I want to say anything that is not carrier of log stash or Kibana Airways. And I forgot to do parentheses in here. So that's one of the hard parts about using timeline, and it can take a long time to really isolate a problem. So what you can do if you're having problems and you're not sure why your query isn't working is you can come and copy this over to another tab here, paste it in, and sometimes it's just a little bit easier to visualize in here to see exactly what you're doing so it's not cluttered. And then you could click play as long as you're within your timeline in the right index, then you'd be able to find it. So I could come, click there, paste in what I'm looking for, click play, and now I can see that this query works. So I can come back here, it's correct now, click play. So you can see what the breakdown is now. We have percentage of flights that are not log stash, that were not log stash airways or Kibana. So this is just a really simple way to do a calculation within Kibana and to add multiple dimensions to Kibana as well within Timeline.